I don't think the concern about the government abusing people is hypothetical, as you claim, but rather that the American government right now abuses people, not only domestically, but certainly internationally. For example, you have the TSA, which gropes grandmothers, the Income Revenue Service, which steals approximately 40% of the wealth created every year, that harasses people and throws them in jail if they do not succumb to their extortion. And even the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms Agency routinely harasses people, for example, with their siege of Edna Lane Brown or in Waco, Texas. And this is to say nothing of what your military does overseas, or your covert intelligence agency with your unjust and aggressive war in Afghanistan, your current bombing in Libya, all of the bombings that have been done in Sudan, in Kosovo, and countless nations around the world. So I think it's a very real concern that your government will abuse people, because they do it right now. They're doing it constantly. That is the nature of government. You say that political culture will prevent big government, but big government's already here. Your government spent $5 trillion last year. What is that if not big government? There's no industry that's not regulated. No, everyone's income is taken. This is exactly what big government is. It's already here, and the political culture in the States failed to prevent it. You complained that the top 1%, or whatever it was, that a tiny elite have a high percentage of the wealth. And I think we should ask ourselves, how can one gain wealth? There's only two ways. You can either create it, or have somebody who created it gift it to you, which is falls under the rubric of create it, or you can steal it. So if somebody gets obscenely wealthy because they create an obscene amount of wealth, that's not a problem. But if somebody gets rich because they steal, which is the method of politicians or Lockheed Martin or anybody that uses the state apparatus to get rich, this is theft. And that sort of wealth I object to. But why, if somebody like Bill Gates that brings personal computing to the world gets obscenely wealthy in the process because he creates an obscene amount of wealth, why is that a problem? I don't understand how you can object, because there's no... Take the case of an artisan who creates a sculpture. Who then should own the sculpture? There's only three options. You can have the artist who created it own it, you can have a select group decide how it can be distributed, or everyone in the world can own it equally, communism. And I think in this example, it's obvious that the sculptor would own the sculpture. And it's no different for any other labor, any other enterprise. So I don't understand why, if somebody's rich because they created a lot of wealth, I should object to this on aesthetic grounds. You say the rich pay the lowest income tax. Of course, that's just false. They pay the highest rate. It's progressive. As you take in more income, you pay a higher income tax. I guess what you're talking about is the capital gains tax, but that's different, right? Income tax, rich people pay much more of. And then you say that people shouldn't be allowed to spend a lot of money donating to a politician, or say running ads in favor of that politician. But the problem here is that you're advocating censorship of political speech, which I think is a little concerning, to say nothing of the First Amendment problem that Congress shall make no law infringing upon freedom of expression. Free speech is important to defend unpopular speech, speech you disagree with. Nobody needs to defend popular speech. It defends itself. So those are just my response to your questions, to your comment. Take care.